Children. This is pretty self-explanatory. Kids need to be entertained. Do you have something to keep them entertained? Now, my kids have little emergency bags, and they can carry clothes, and they can have boots and different things in there. But I do all of the fun stuff. I have candy. I have coloring books. I have toys and puzzles and different things, and Pokemon cards. And I have the things in there that they are going to need to stay at least moderately entertained, because they're going to be terrified. They're going to be scared. Try to keep that from interrupting you or from interfering with your ability to execute your plan. Keep that in mind. Kids need a lot of care, especially if you have young kids. Do you have formula? Do you have diapers? Having a baby with no diapers would be terrible. Having a baby with no formula would be terrible. That is a bad time to start introducing solids to your baby, let me tell you. Think about these things. Formula is expensive. You're only on it for a period of time. But maybe when you know you're only going to be on formula 3 or 4 more months, you stock up with a little bit extra, or you buy that 3 or 4 months in one fell swoop, and then you've got all that you need. Maybe you don't buy 5 bottles every 2 weeks of baby food. You buy 20 bottles, and that keeps you for the month, with the hope that when something happens, you can go and have a week or so's worth of food for the baby available. Again, that exact scenario, you can divine that whatever way you want. The trick is to be prepared for something. Gear. Now, I love gear. I love the tactical stuff. I like the Molly stuff. I love camouflage. I love camouflage. I love talking about camouflage. I love the philosophy and the design of camouflage. I love all that stuff. It is really cool. The problem is with gear is that it can become a little overwhelming, and it can kind of become the tail that wags the dog. Make sure that what you're getting is appropriate for the disasters that you're likely to face and the scenario that you're kind of building around. I've started, frankly, kind of getting rid of a lot of my Molly stuff, or not incorporating it into my prep, as much as it is fun. In many disaster scenarios, it's not really appropriate, or it kind of pegs you and makes you stand out, when the whole idea of camouflage is that you blend in. Blend in. Stay away from some of the Molly stuff. Stay away from the tactical stuff. Even though it is awesome, it is probably bad prep. One thing I am a fan of, though, are backpacks. And my favorite backpack, frankly, is a Molly backpack. But buy good backpacks, buy very strong backpacks. And those are the bags that I like to use in my prep whenever I possibly can, just to keep my hands free, to either help my kids or help my wife or carry more. Try to do everything in such a way that it blends in with a great picture, or a bigger picture of what you're trying to do. Again, clothing, there's lots of different suggestions out there. Be practical, be smart, don't stand out. I don't like jeans. Jeans are very limiting. It's hard to climb in jeans. It's hard to do hiking in jeans. It's hard to do a lot of things in jeans. So probably the only place where I would suggest that you maybe do something that's slightly tactical is BDU pants. Not the shirts so much, but there's enough camo gear and there's enough cargo style pants out there that there are really good pants from like LA Police gear that are really cheap and really outstanding. And probably kind of recommended on those. You should probably have a pair of those just for work pants, or many pair. Something I want to spend a little bit of time on is your behavior in an emergency. I think too many of us have gotten kind of a bunker mentality, or in some cases literally building bunkers, with the idea that this disaster is going to strike and we're going to crawl into our spider hole and pull the top closed, and then there we are, waiting to pop out at some future date and say, hey, look, everything's better now. And that's very short-sighted. Frankly, your neighbors would probably think you're a jerk if you did that. Be a good neighbor. If there's one prepping, kind of component out there for your interaction or your behavior in an emergency, it's be a good neighbor. Help your neighbors. help your community. These are all your peers, regardless of their political affiliations, regardless of their views on whatever you want. Whether they're prepared or not prepared, you should be out there helping them. Now, I've got some warnings on that part, though, and then this is where I get a little bit of concern, is help your neighbors. Don't be conspicuous. Don't be the guy that's out there showing off all of his fantastic disaster preps when your neighbors have nothing, or when whatever has just been destroyed. You don't want to be the guy that stands out as, hey, look that I've got all this, because later, if the disaster time period starts to spread out, it can become obvious that you have food and maybe they don't. So be a good neighbor, but don't kind of draw attention to yourself where it really doesn't need to be. You don't want to be the guy out there with his AR and his chest rig running around the neighborhood, because no matter how well armed you are at any one given moment, you have to sleep. You have to be a person. I mean, you can't be this one-man army, because all it takes is a thump in the back of the head and you're injured now and you're helpless, and chances are this person's now taken all of your cool stuff and is headed back to your house to take even more. And I guess where I'd kind of end it is, when should I start? And the answer is right now. We have a lot of things that we can do as preppers that we already have. Just the fact that you're thinking about being a prepper means that you're already a light year ahead of everybody else. There's only a small percentage of the population that are really working on what would happen in the event of a really rainy day. And I know there's a lot of things on TV right now, and whether it's Falling Skies or Walking Dead, or there's a new show coming out, and there's the 2012 CMEs and comets and Mayan calendar and all this stuff. So it's kind of on people's minds. It's out there. But don't take any one of those individual events as being unfocused on this to the exclusion of everything else. Be focused on what's most likely to happen, and then take what's called an all hazards approach and build from there. I've packed a ton of stuff into a very short video. I've talked very, very quickly. Please leave comments if you think I've omitted something, if you think I'm wrong about something, if you think that I've given a wrong emphasis somewhere. Let me know. I'd love to hear the comments. Thank you very much, and have a good day.